Hello, I'm Justin Smith, and I'm going to talk to you about how to connect fast and influence people. Connect fast and influence people increases our influence in every situation. Connecting always requires energy. Connectors connect on common ground. Connectors do the hard task of keeping it simple. Connectors create an experience that everyone enjoys. According to John Maxwell, the true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. Also, according to John Maxwell, the ability to identify with people and relate to them in such a way that increases our influence with them. That is why connecting is so important. So, if you want to influence someone, you must answer 3 questions. Can you help them? Can they trust you? And do you care about them? If you can't answer yes to those 3 questions, you can influence just about anybody to do anything for you. So, connecting signals. How do I know that I'm actually made a connection with someone? First off, I know I will have enjoyable experiences. I'll have an emotional bondedness, positive energy, growing synergy. Also, you'll notice that they will give you extra effort. They will work harder for you. Unsolicited appreciation. This is when you are doing something and someone comes up to you out of the blue and says, "Hey, thank you so much for everything you've done for us." So also you'll get unguarded and openness. This is when you talk to someone, they'll give you their honest feedback. And increased communication. There are 5 ways to using energy for connecting, because connecting with someone does take a lot of energy and work. First thing is initiative. You must go to them. You can't sit around and wait for them to come to you and expect to have a connection out of that way. The next thing is you need to be is clarity and prepare. So you must know what your goal is. You must speak clearly to them as well. Patience, slow down. This means it's not everyone you're going to connect to right off the bat. So it's just patience, slow down, make sure you communicate clearly with them as well. Selflessness, give. This is, if you're going to ask someone a lot of information and try to build a connection, you better be willing to give part of yourself to them as well. Stamina, recharge. Again, this is building a relationship can take some time. It's not just a one-day deal. It can be months, weeks. So you might need to recharge and regroup over with these people. So how do I build a connection with someone? How do I talk to someone that I don't even know? First thing you should remember is form. And that stands for family, occupation, and recreation, then deliver your message. So if I go in a public area and I meet someone for the first time, I know I can strike up a conversation and build a connection with them by asking them about their family, their occupation, or recreational sports they like to do. The one key thing you want to make sure about is do not make this like an interview with someone. What is your favorite, what is your job? How many family members do you have? What sports do you play? Don't make it where it's an interview. Make it to where it's flowing naturally. So if I walk and talk to someone, I said, "Oh, how many brothers and siblings do you have?" 6, and they live in Seattle. Well, then what are you doing down here in Texas? And they'll go talk about how they moved down here for a job. "Oh, that's cool. What do you do?" As long as the conversation is moving fluidly, you'll be okay. Just make sure it's not an interview. Once I've built or established communication with them, then I will deliver my message with them. So the art of keeping it simple. First thing is you want to talk to the people, not above them. Make sure you talk to them on their level. Get to the point. Don't make something that can be said in 3 words, said in 300 words. Say it over and over again. If I want you to remember or get to a certain point, I must repeat my point several times so that you know that that is what I want you to understand. I want to say it clearly. Make sure I enunciate and say exactly what I mean. I also want to say less. So I don't want to make an elaborate Shakespeare story out of something that can be said in a few words. I always like to remember this saying called KISS. It stands for keep it simple, stupid. That's the easiest way to remember that. So, how to be interesting? Well, first thing you want to know is facts tell, stories sell. So if I want to sell you a car and I just tell you facts about the car, yes, this car has 35 square cubic meters of interior space, it's not going to be that interesting. If I tell you a story about it though, then you'd be more interested and more likely to buy the vehicle. Also, you want to communicate in their world. So if I'm talking to a bunch of accountants, it's completely different than how I talk to a bunch of IT guys or operations people. I make sure I communicate in how they speak. So I want to make sure I capture everyone's attention from the start. I don't want to walk into the room and be, "Hi, my name is Justin. I'm here to talk to you about something." I'm going to go in there and be full of energy and talk to everyone and show them that I'm here, I'm happy to be here with them, and try to build a relationship. So I want to make sure I activate my audience. I want to say something where it sticks to them. I want to be visual to them so they remember it more. And also I want to tell stories. I want to make sure I can tell a story the entire time I'm talking, and they'll be more likely to pay attention and follow what I'm saying. So once I've done this a few times, I want to ask myself a few questions. Well, what new distinctions have I made? How can I change my approach when talking to people? And do I foresee any challenges coming up when dealing with a certain group? Maybe the certain group just doesn't like me for my job, and maybe that's going to be a challenge I'm going to have to overcome. So just to review, what are the influence connecting signals? Energy, it takes a lot of energy to build a relationship. Common ground, make sure to build a common ground between you and the person you're trying to influence. Simple, say what you're trying to say and keep it simple. Don't make it too extravagant, too complicated. And make sure your experience with each other is enjoyable. After that, you've been doing it for a little bit, make sure you ask yourself, what new distinctions have you made with that person? How can I change my approach? And lastly, foresee any potential challenges. Alright guys, again, my name was Justin Smith, and thank you so much.